Welcome to I'm Your Target Demographic. Today we're going to talk about something called the Civil War. And this is a pretty famous storyline in the Marvel Universe that is about to come to the big screen, if we can believe what we've heard. So the news broke that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be joining Chris Evans in Captain America 3. And Variety posted that they're going to be covering the Civil War story. So I thought now would be a good time to talk about what that is, for you casual fans that maybe just love these movies, and what we might want to see from a movie about the Civil War. If you want like a full rundown of the Civil War, there's two things I want to suggest to you. The first is checking out this video series from MarvelExplained. And this is a series of videos that go almost panel by panel through the Civil War story and tell you what's happening. So if you want an extensive look at what the Civil War is, what happened, MarvelExplained does a great job. If you want something a little more concise and funny, you're going to go to TV Little House. And they have a great channel, and they do this series called Back Issues, where they go over a story, and someone that knows it explains the story to two people that don't know it. So for those of you that know the story, this is a funny way to watch non-fans react to sometimes the absurdity of these storylines. So check out TV Little House. Both of those videos, the links are down below in the description. Let's get into it. What is the Civil War, and why is this a big deal, and why do people care? The Civil War is a storyline from, I think, 2005 that got people kind of reading Marvel again. It kind of reignited this interest in comic books because it was a story that was relevant to the times. It was unlike really anything that we've seen so far, and I thought it was really cool. So in essence, here's what happens. In the Marvel world, there is a tragedy. In the comic books, it's a villain that kind of explodes, that's his power, and he kills a bunch of innocents, including a bunch of children at school. And because of this, the nation kind of says, we need to control and know what these superheroes and villains can do. So it splits kind of all of our heroes and villains in half. That some say, yes, we should register these heroes. We should know what they do, we should train them so that anyone can't just go out and become a vigilante and possibly hurt someone. Maybe someone has really dangerous powers that we need to know what they can do. The other half says, no, it's our right to be free, and we're not going to register with anyone, and you can't make us do anything. So on the pro-registration side is Iron Man, kind of leading the charge. So he says, yes, everyone should register. If you have a secret identity, you should tell us. You need to register with the government. On the anti-registration side that says no, that is unpatriotic, is Captain America. So the two of them basically head up squads of people, all these heroes kind of split down the middle, and they each have a side, and they fight. So there's not a big bad villain like in a lot of these typical storylines, which is why this movie might be really cool. The Marvel movies don't have a great track record, aside from Loki and maybe the Winter Soldier, of having great villains. So this would solve that problem in allowing our stellar heroes to somewhat become the villains in the story. And it's complicated because no side is right. There's valid issues for both sides. That yes, if someone can detonate and explode and hurt people, we should know that. We should be able to help them. We don't want some crazy lunatic roaming around trying to protect people and hurting someone. So the pro-registration side has a lot of valid issues. But the anti-registration also has a lot of good ammo, for lack of a better word, that it is unconstitutional to kind of have to tell people your secret identity and register with the government and do what the government says, right? You're now becoming a hero for hire for them, which a lot of people have a problem with. So that, in a nutshell, is the Civil War. This issue happens, this tragedy, and splits the world in half. Now, some fans are against the idea of doing a Civil War movie. That when this news broke, there were tons of people that were saying, no, this is a bad idea. And they have a lot of valid reasons. It may not be super interesting. Some people thought the original story was not great. I liked it, some people didn't. They also say that there's not a big enough cast to represent the true divide. That we don't have enough heroes, not a lot of people have secret identities. That's true. The secret identity piece may fall to the wayside because not a lot of heroes do. But I think we have plenty of heroes to sustain a movie about this. By this point, we'll have all of the original Avengers. We'll have all the new additions from Avengers 2. We will have all these supporting heroes that have appeared in the various Avengers movies. We'll have people from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We'll have the Netflix heroes. we have a lot of people to possibly put in this movie, and they're not going to get some big names. Like, I doubt Thor will appear in this. It's debatable if Hulk will appear. But we have all these lesser-known people that are more on that vigilante side that will likely split and be divided. So I think there's plenty of people to sustain a cool story like this. Some fans also have a complaint that Iron Man in the movies is not like Iron Man in the comic books. And the Iron Man in the movies, we haven't built up that reputation that he would side with the government on an issue like this. Which is true, but I think they could justify it. When you think about Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, in Iron Man 3 he was beaten, right? He was like kind of devastated, he was traumatized from the attack on New York that took place in the Avengers, and now he has these extremist soldiers that explode, right? Which might be part of what happens to trigger the Civil War, maybe. So now he's seeing people, kind of innocents being killed. In Avengers 2, we're going to see Ultron. And Ultron is Tony Stark's creation, likely. And Ultron's going to destroy a lot of things and a lot of people. So you can imagine by this point, like that one thing tips the scales. And Iron Man will likely say, we need to control this. I'm tired of people dying. I'm tired of these catastrophic incidents, so we need to figure out what people can do, and we need to stop these crazies from going around and kind of doing whatever they want. We need to lock this down. I could see the MCU Iron Man saying that. In Captain America, from what we've seen so far, the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra and everything that happened in the Winter Soldier puts him in a perfect place to say, no, I don't trust you. The government is not to be trusted, not to be relied on. We're not going to register. I'm going to fight for what's right. So I think this movie could work on that level. Some fans also point out that Spider-Man is a very important figure in the Civil War. He does give up his secret identity and tells people who he is, which is a big deal. But Spider-Man currently doesn't belong to Marvel Studios. But there are little rumors happening that Sony, because of the response to The Amazing Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man 2, might be willing to trade those rights back. That, okay, you can use Spider-Man, and now that he's been in the Avengers or whatever, more people are likely to go see those Amazing Spider-Man movies. So it would work well for Sony that's financially maybe not doing so hot. So Spider-Man could be in the running. It would make a cool addition to Captain America 3, if they do include him. Another really interesting factor of the Civil War that I'm excited about is something called the Thunderbolts. And the Thunderbolts is a team of supposedly reformed villains from various character arcs, right? Different comic books. Either reform or they're under like duress, that they have kind of this mind chip, and they have to kind of fight for the government and help track down these vigilantes. So it's kind of this superhero team of supervillains that are kind of under control of the government. And I don't think, if they go this route, I don't think we're going to see villains from the main movies. I mean, maybe like Crossbones, which was in Captain America 2. But I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is giving us a lot of cool villains that are maybe better than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You know, that they have powers that rival that of Iron Man and Captain America. So I think seeing like the Absorbing Man as part of the Thunderbolts, maybe Blizzard, seeing some of these cool villains that they've set up on TV go to the big screen would help legitimize Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as a show you need to watch. That even Marvel fans are kind of divided on, I don't know if I'm going to watch it. But this would give us like, wow, Absorbing Man was really cool. I'm going to go back and watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because I now saw him in Captain America just destroying things. So I'm excited. The Civil War is super cool. Has a lot of interesting dynamics and moving parts. And I think for a Captain America movie, they could still focus on him. Some people are concerned about it's going to become an Iron Man movie or it's going to become an Avengers. But this is at the core a story of Captain America rebelling against this Registration Act. And it is kind of still a spy movie, right? He's underground. He's trying to accomplish these goals of stopping the Registration Act. It would still be about him, with Iron Man serving as the complex, morally gray villain that some people are going to be rooting for. Like, I can see a lot of reasons why you'd be pro-registration. So I think there's potential here. I know a lot of people maybe don't, but that's what the Civil War is. That's why I'm excited for it, and that's what I want to see from it. And it also serves as a perfect point to tear our team apart right before Avengers 3, where Thanos is going to show up and he is a perfect reason for our team to come back together. So it all works. So what do you think? Are you excited for Civil War? Do you think this sounds interesting? Have you read the Civil War storyline? What do you think? Let me know. If you haven't been to my full website, head over to IamYourTargetDemographic.com. I review movies every weekend, whatever's coming out. There's a lot of stuff going on there, so go check it out. And thanks for watching.